Welcome to the epicenter of sports and entertainment. This is The Rude Dog Show. Now, here's your host, Rudy Reyes.
Hey, what's going on? What's a good word? The word is the power is on. A lot of players are on, and some players are off. Guess you're going to have to tune in to find out. This is Rudy Reyes on The Rude Dog Show. TheRudeDogShow.com. Make sure you check out all of the wonderful things that I have to bring you. And when I say wonderful, yesterday was wonderful for some, but not wonderful for, well, everyone else in the NBA. Sadly enough, of course, if you haven't been watching, you should be paying very close attention to what's going on right now in the NBA. And I say that because you have injuries that are sustained by players, not good for any player. Doesn't matter who they are, really, but predominantly the ones that are your starters are the ones that you don't want to get injured. So make sure you do your due diligence and watch tomorrow night's game. There are some on tonight, but tomorrow night's games are very important, if not extremely important. So make sure you go check out Today's California, brought to you by Today's Canada as well, live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, I'm on it. I'm Rudy Reyes on The Rude Dog Show. Before I kick things off, I want to kind of give patronage to two wonderful sponsors. One is SaturdaysCount.com. And if you don't know who they are, let's think about this. So within a year's time, in the NCAA year, rather, you have one season, 12 games, and 12 Saturdays. You have to be able to win the Natty, but you got to win the Natty by going to SaturdaysCount.com. You got to make them count. I'm telling you, SaturdaysCount.com. Go check them out at SaturdaysCount.com, on TheRudeDogShow.com. New page, by the way, called Partnerships. Yes, because they are a partner of The Rude Dog Show. And today, a brand new, and thank you very much, appreciate it, at @TrophyCase_ on Twitter. Go check out my newest sponsor. Download the free app. Or go to Google Play and download that app today. If you don't download the app, you may not be able to make a case without a championship trophy to put in it. Be seen, be in it to win it. Go to trophycase.app. That's trophycase.app. I've been saying this for years, and I've interviewed plenty of players, all trying to get to the same place, and that is to the upper echelon within their respective sports, MLB, NFL, NBA, guys that are trying to get out there, but you have to go to trophycase.app to build your profile. Once you do, you'll be able to be seen by lots of scouts. I mean, I'm not even an athlete and I'm getting views. That must tell you something. Yeah, I'm 6'1", but that doesn't mean I'm athletic. No, I am. I'm athletic. But I'm not an NFL player, not an NBA player. I'm lucky to be a point guard, a small point guard in today's NBA. So that's kind of what we're talking about here today is the NBA. But go to trophycase.app, download that free app today. I say free? Yes, free. I usually use the adage, if it's free, it's for me, and it's a free app. So make sure you download it, not while you're watching the show. You can do it after, you can do it before, but make sure you tune in 5 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through, I'm going to try to make it Friday. I'm working on it. Just be patient. There'll be a lot more to come. Trust me. Last night, Damian Lillard dropping 51 points on the Utah Jazz. He dropped 51 points on Utah Jazz the night before, but just bringing the heat. I mean, it's not even necessarily who he did it against. It's how he did it. He had done it from three. Didn't matter. Did it get the soft zones of the Jazz? Didn't matter. Assisted to various players and hitting threes without regard to anyone on the court wearing any other color other than Trailblazer. He inspired the younger talent around him to take advantage of the speed and the accuracy and the quickness for which he can actually play with. He's done this year in and year out. And I've also said year in and year out that if Damian Lillard does not end up on a championship team, his years in Portland are for naught. Again, no player is going to enter any format, whether it's in the NFL, Major League Baseball on the diamond, or NBA on the court, to lose a game. You want to win, but you have to have the winning method around you and the people that understand that method and how to play together. Play as one, not play as 35. Play as your starters. If you're backup, contribute when you're on the floor. That's how you make your minutes count. And one thing about Damian Lillard, he was really able to put it down last night. I really appreciate his enthusiasm, his athleticism, his ability to make something out of nothing. And when I say that, he does have some talent around him, but he doesn't have elite talent around him. And by no means do I minimize the roster that's been put forth for the Trailblazers to compete moving forward to at least get into a play-in situation. And they're right one notch right above the Los Angeles Lakers. And we'll talk about them in half a minute. But, I mean, Damian Lillard is an inspiration to people. And I've said this time in and time out again and again and again. Damian Lillard is a guy who deserves some respect, to put some respect on his name. Just do it. You don't have to think about it. Just do it. He's 32 years old. He's the fourth player only in NBA history who has ever done it, tying Donovan Mitchell, Elgin Baylor, David Robinson. And more importantly, it's about the crowd. When the crowd is in it, you can win it. 9 for 15 from three-point range, 17 for 29. 29, the Blazers were blazing against Utah, beating them handily 124 to 107. I think more importantly, you really have to look at the way that they're doing it as a collective unit. This is not a single win. This is a collective unit. Everybody plays together. They're on the same team, and their goal is to do what? Win the game. That's the idea. That's the concept. And more often than not, some players don't know how to figure that out. And unfortunately, it may not come other than at the cost of your team losing, and the difference between getting into a play-in or those that don't belong in a play-in at all. So as if that wasn't enough of a night against the Utah Jazz, Damian Lillard went on a roll, on a tangent, whatever euphemism you want to use. He humiliated the Rockets, putting 71 points through the iron in a 131-114 win, as if it wasn't enough. Well, apparently it wasn't, because the NBA decided to smack a drug test on him. And in post-game, he made comments in regards to, I mean, honestly, I was like, are you all serious? Lillard Sunday during his post-game conference, I did a urine test and backed it up with a blood draw tonight after the game. It was actually the first time in my career I've been tested after a game. Now, the NBA can't do this. They have the complete legitimacy of saying, you know what, you're going to take a blood test. This is who you are. I don't care how many points. I don't care what team you play for. They can randomly do this. I mean, look, I understand he's got a lot of ink, but having a needle stuck in your arm versus getting tatted on, two completely different things. I don't like needles, and it's a shame that after such a stellar performance, the league decided they needed to drug test him. Now, sadly, when you look at the one of the sections within the NBA, what they call the CBA, it states that a player shall be required to undergo testing for a prohibited substance anytime without prior notice to the player. Well, of course, you don't want to give a player an unfair advantage and enable them to, go do some HGH or something silly to enhance their performance on the court. And of course, when a player selection is a procedure by a third-party organization, that means that the league, the team, the union will have any and all involvement. If the player will be tested, will receive prior notice. I just don't look. It's almost as if you took a man who was at his highest of highs, being the fourth man in NBA history to drop 71 points, but now you brought him to the lowest of lows. That's not fair to him. And he is tested time and time again whenever he was asked to do so, because that's part of CBA. He co-signed for it in some capacity, or maybe he wasn't there at the meetings. And my theory about CBAs, whether it's the NFL or Major League Baseball or anything else for that matter, you have to be able to make your voice count. If you want the change to occur, you have to be the guy to help create that change by doing what? Propagating it, by being there, by having a voice as a part of that change to see if it's an achievable change that will allow for parity across the board whether you're giving an advantage to the players or advantage to the league. And of course, it's always about the players. Without the players, you wouldn't have a league. So I think to myself, man, a day he's scheduled to play, post game, he gets tested. Okay, fine, wonderful. But how, and we'll go back to this question. How did Damian Lillard go about scoring his 71 points against the Rockets? Well, yeah, we know that the NBA All-Star game was basically okay. I mean, it was fine. It was from three and almost breaking Klay Thompson's record of in 2018. And I think sadly, when you look at this, it's almost as if he single-handedly destroyed his record. I mean, he eclipsed 28 shot attempts and 13 from 22 beyond the arc, making all 14 of his free throw attempts. But I mean, if you want a performance, look at his performance, tape his performance, listen to his performance, because he's a guy who has certainly done this time in and time out. My only regret, hopefully it won't be his regret, but my only regret is that he will not have the ability to go to another team and do something more than what the Portland Trail Blazers have given him time and again. It's just a real sad situation. With that being said, I want to give a shout out here to my only comment tonight, Marina Braga de Costa. Thank you very much. Muy bien, gracias for that. And that's about all Spanish that I know. But thank you nonetheless. I certainly appreciate it. This show brought to you by Today's California, Today's Canada. Find it on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you name it. Well, I'm on it. I'm all over. I guess the metaverse, some would say, and some would say no. Also brought to you by SatursdaysCount.com. Go to SatursdaysCount.com. 12 Saturdays and 12 games. Make it count. Go to SatursdaysCount.com and pick up your T-shirt. It's a wonderful looking shirt. I should have mine in the mail a lot sooner than later. And then, of course, go to trophycase.app. Download the free from the Google or App Store. It's a free app that makes your profile as a player visible to scouts, general managers, and anyone else looking for fantastic talent. You got to be in it to be seen. And if you're not, you're losing out. Go to trophycase.app and create your free profile today. Lakers have their work cut out for them. And when I say that, I mean they have to achieve a goal of qualifying for the NBA playoffs and then avoid the play-in. And I like the play-in for those that, it almost brings out the best in those teams. It brings the best in who they are. It brings the best of what you have to bring on the court and get it done. And the Lakers themselves, they have the tools. It's a revamped, reworked roster that they're currently playing with, and I actually like that. I like how they're playing. I really enjoy watching all the star shooters involved in this process. Schrader gets some help. LeBron gets some help. AD's playing at an all-time high. And it's something that I've been waiting for quite a while, to say the very least. But, they're going to have to make a run, and it means right now. It doesn't mean tomorrow. It doesn't mean next week. They have to win every single game in order to avoid a play-in. And that may be a little bit harder than it seems. We'll talk about it in just a moment here. But you want to go into a Memphis Grizzlies team and into the arena knowing that you're going to win the game. It's really about mindset. And so their mindset against Ja is that they're going to take advantage of a lot of doubles. You're going to see that, especially within the perimeter. You can't give them open shots. You have to contest those at every point whatsoever. And you have to play hard on every single defensive possession. Granted, that's what you get when you're able to actually block out and turn that ball over and score in transition. One thing about the Grizzlies is that they do have speed. They have youth. More importantly, it's how they're winning. It's how they're taking care of the ball. So the Lakers have their work cut out for them traveling into Memphis. And what's going to be even more interesting is if it was just reported the Lakers will not have LeBron James for an indefinite amount of time. He had hurt his foot against the Mavericks yesterday, and right now there's some scary belief that he will be sidelined for an indefinite amount of time. So it's sad to see this, sad to hear about it. I hope LeBron gets better, gets back to the court, because this Lakers team can win, but how long can they sustain the win without LeBron James? That's a bigger problem. That's a bigger question for another day. But the bigger question is, can they maintain the flow needed to make a run and avoid the play-in? Well, we just discussed that, and some of the shooting leaders clearly is going to be LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook. Did everything he could last night for the Clippers. He was traded prior to the deadline. Jared Vanderbilt, no D'Angelo Russell. He will need to come back in a big, big way in order to make this happen. Bryant traded out. Schroeder doing absolutely everything he could. Malik Beasley just tearing it up right now with just dropping threes at will. Austin Reeves getting it done. He tends to push the momentum, is a willing passer when he needs to, and you need better. You need really solid passes, especially if you're at the LA Lakers. But at this juncture of the season, you can't go and expect to get a win and do this time and time again when you're down over 27 points against the Dallas Mavericks like he had seen yesterday. More importantly, it's really about, I understand there's the largest comeback in the history of the NBA to defeat the Dallas Mavericks, and a new look as well. Mavericks, Anthony Davis, 30 points, 15 rebounds. LeBron, 26 points. Vanderbilt with 15 points and 17 rebounds and 4 steals. So it's not like they don't have the capabilities of actually winning. But one thing the Lakers can do is they can get on runs, and they did that in the second quarter, third quarter, and of course to close out the game in the third quarter. 111 again, and 111 over 108 last night against the Mavericks. So the Lakers have their work cut out for them, traveling to Memphis, then the Thunder, Timberwolves, and then the Warriors, who they had beat earlier, and not to pass in the future, I should say. So hopefully they're going to avoid some losses. Hopefully they're going to get some wins out of that. I like the win over the Mavericks, but you can't do that without LeBron James as a part of that lineup. I expect to come back behind over 27 points. That's just not right. It's not going to get it done for the Lakers at all. Grizzlies, that is a winnable game. I see that going down to the wire. Oklahoma, I see a win there. They have a young roster. They're very talented, but they just don't have the experience that the starting lineup for the Lakers actually have, with AD as big as he is, hopefully, and crossing my fingers, injury-free for the remainder of the season in order for him to take advantage of smaller lineups by him being the center and basically blocking out the paint and being that willing passer that he needs to be. Timberwolves, I see that as a possible win. They really put on a clinic against the Clippers yesterday, with Knicks getting it done from 3 inside of the paint. I think he had a double-double yesterday. Really, really good. And, of course, still no Steph Curry for the Golden State Warriors. I recognize that you have Klay Thompson still a part of that rotation and really being the willing passer, but also shooting and doing a very good job of it as well. You do have some firepower there. I just don't know that there's still enough to beat the LA Lakers, and hopefully at that point of reference, you're going to get LeBron James back, or at least an update in regards to what LeBron James brings to this Lakers team, if for some reason he is not the guy on the floor and being a willing cheerleader. This is Rudy Reyes on the Rude Dog Show. Again, brought to you by Today's California, Today's Canada. If you're into that kind of thing, make sure you follow me at Rude Dog Reyes on Twitter. Go to TheRudeDogShow.com. Check out for some good stuff coming up as well. The NFL Combine. I have 2 gentlemen that are actually heading there right now who will be there this weekend. So stay tuned to the TheRudeDogShow.com NFL Combine page that I'll be creating here in a while, maybe a day, maybe tomorrow morning. I don't know. We'll see. But make sure you tune in. Going to get some solid coverage, maybe some great interviews. We'll see what the NFL Combine brings. And, of course, as you know it, the NFL Draft, that is on the horizon. So stay tuned for that as well, because I will try to attend the one in Kansas City. We'll see how that works out. This is Rudy Reyes of TheRudeDogShow.com. Again, go to SaturdaysCount.com, pick up your favorite shirt. 12 Saturdays, 12 games. Make it count. Get the natty. Go to SaturdaysCount.com. Go to TrophyCase.app. Download your free Google or App Store app today. Be seen, be recognized, but you have to be in it to win it at trophycase.app. This is Rudy Reyes on the Rude Dog Show. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. It's been about 30 minutes of your time with me today.